Ladies and gentlefolk, we are now live.
Welcome to the 21-day Thriver Challenge, day 8. Stoked.
Wow.
Tuk.
So, we're diving into our documentation because we're so official, we're so proper. Haha. This is important because this is our way of just making sure that everybody takes care of themselves, that we're not responsible for how you take care of yourself, and that our advice is just human advice. We do not consider ourselves to be general health practitioners. We are just humans sharing tools.
Please feel free to stop the screen and read it for yourself. Dun, dun, dun. And there we are. You see, we've become already better and better and better in all those little technical things. That's practice. Building new pathways.
And today we decided to actually start with our centering thought so that everybody can be in that refocus. We're fully aware that with everything that's going on in our world right now, it seems so important to just keep going back and back and back with the perspective and seeing the big picture. But we'll dive into that just now. We were thinking about what's going to be fun today. So this is actually Toto's favorite game. You guys get to throw. You go on, Toto.
Right, you guys get to throw in 3 words, and Nikki is going to make a spontaneous joke out of it.
Yeah, this becomes
So,
actually a lot of pressure for me.
Get into the chat box right now on Zoom and just give us 3 words. And also on Facebook, we're here. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so just to make this really clear, you can offer any word, and once we have 3 words, then I shall throw a joke into the mix, because we can joke and be like jesters and not take ourselves too seriously. Sausage.
We got our first word, sausage. Bring it in.
Zen.
We need another 2 words, guys. Where are the words coming here?
See.
See. Tum, tum, tum. Come on, guys. One last word.
Mermaid.
All right, there you go.
Oh, yo, guys, that's like pushing the maximum of my joke repertoire inside. Okay, let's see. Okay, so collectively we're going to play, okay? I haven't said any words. I'm not going to say any words. You guys are supposed to give the words, but actually Zenjen, you chose 3, so I feel like I get one more moment of time because somebody else must throw one more word.
Okay, I throw a word in.
Okay.
Jar.
Joel chose C, Zenjen, you chose mermaid. So I've got sausage, C, and jar. Okay, so once upon a time, there was this mermaid, and she was just cruising around in the ocean, and for the first time ever, she saw a sausage fish. And she was like, oh my word, you're a sausage fish. And the fish was like, blue, blue. And she was like, I don't understand sausage, I'm sorry. And he was like, blue, blue. And she was like, okay, really, you're gonna have to help me. And so she took little sausage fish for a little journey, and then they came to this like translator booth, and they pressed the translator booth thing, and right there she remembered that the moment she met the sausage fish, there was this strange like thing behind her. And then as she pressed translate, she realized that the thing behind her was some strange doorway. And then the sausage fish was going blop, blop. And it basically said, you left the door ajar.
I know this doesn't even count.
It's still ajar.
Yo, That was deep.
Oh my word.
A round of applause, guys.
Thank
Round of
you,
applause.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's dive into our visualization for the day. Everybody, just get yourselves nicely relaxed. And for those that need to be visually stimulated, stare deeply into the kaleidoscope. You can do that too. So the idea is you're just allowing yourself to come here fully into the moment. Every breath you take becomes a little deeper. Whether you have your eyes closed or open, allowing this kaleidoscope to support you to refocus into the present moment. Whichever way you're doing this is perfect. Bring your focus to your breath.
And just stay with your breath. Observe the inflow and outflow. And with every breath, allow yourself to relax more, to be more present, to be more at ease.
Feeling the refreshing oxygen move into every cell, refocusing it for this day, renewing it. You're not the past. You're not the future. You're this moment. Feel renewed. Say internally, I am new. I am new.
Whatever is sitting with you right now, something that happened this morning, something that happened yesterday, that's still there. Allow yourself to look at it from a more holistic perspective. Zoom out one step and see the bigger picture. Life is not just your perspective, not just one perspective. And I invite you to look at all the other perspectives and to whatever you are sitting with.
Like one giant kaleidoscope, all parts make up the whole. And as we take ourselves into the big picture, we see how each part is co-creating the most magnificent perspective. Bring yourself into the inner kaleidoscope and the outer kaleidoscope. And breathe a little deeper as you slowly start bringing yourself out, holding the depth of that perspective with you, the height of that perspective with you.
And slowly Use your fingers to give yourself little taps along your arms, along your legs. Maybe bring it to your forehead. And just feel how your focus shifted to the point that you choose to focus on as you press. And how focus is a choice. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
We just appreciate the artists that co-created that amazing kaleidoscope. We'll actually share a link with you and you can enjoy that again in your own time. Wow, that was amazing because I chose to not close my eyes and I was focusing on the kaleidoscope the whole way, and I could just see this focus and refocus and focus and refocus. And I actually remember once seeing, I think it's somewhere from the East, and there's an eye chart that you're supposed to sort of put on your fridge or next to your mirror, and you're supposed to keep exercising your eyes because they're muscles, literally, and so that your eyes don't ever, lose their capability because you keep practicing going from small to big to small. And yeah, that came up for me, and it made me kind of echo again today's centering thought is that as I practice focusing on that bigger picture, I'm going to become more accustomed to living in that way where I'm literally seeing the bigger picture, and then I'm going to be less affected by all of that, by the shift storms.
Yeah, I was sitting with this. It's interesting how these daily themes, it almost feels like they're in the collective. So this morning, I was sitting with it in my morning practice, and something I felt over the last 3 days in the mornings was it was like a little bit of a feeling of like, am I doing enough? Is there enough going on? How come that I don't have like, like that doesn't feel like I'm like having to do like, I don't know, things back to back. There's a lot of space that I create for myself and every day for also just being. And I realized it plays into something that Michael actually brought up. I think it was day 6, where he said that same feeling, like almost like an inner anxiety around like, am I doing enough? There's so much going on in the world. Am I doing enough? And this morning with this refocus, what actually came up for me is like, it's an old pattern, this like doing. And then almost like the doing should be the satisfaction. Like we're almost wired that we have to do to feel satisfaction, to feel full. Yet actually the mastery lies in letting the doing happen without doing it yourself, like without, being in it. So what came up for me, even like, a great leader is someone who makes himself obsolete in a sense. So it has a lot that we're doing every day, right? I mean, we're doing these daily broadcasts, we're holding Secret Sunrise online. I'm running in a non-for-profit. Nikki is holding a non-for-profit. Teams out there doing things. And so there's a lot actually that, in theory, whoop on my shoulders, I'm doing, but I'm not actually, because I've been able to create a space where I'm more in a being space and allow others to take their part and hold their part. So it doesn't feel like I'm actually carrying all this. And this like little refocus this morning really helped me actually like, it's like this feeling that comes up, this anxiety it's an old pattern. It's from the old me where doing was the norm. Now that I'm actually in being a lot, my mind almost feels like maybe there's like a vacuum. It's like, oh my God, like how can you just be and still so much actually is happening, but that focus slips away. It just focuses on the actual doing.
But this is profound because the being creates the allowing. So if like we're using totes reflection, I remember it actually once shown to me a little bit like this. You know, in the world, we literally get taught, you need to do this, then you will have the right tools to do the things, and then you can be happy. You need to do all of the work, then you can have money, and then you will be happy. You need to do, then you can have this, then you'll be amazing. And what Totes is saying actually is you turn it completely around, and if you focus on the being, then you can see from the being, through the being, what it is you need to do, and you'll have everything you need. So you're completely flipping it around, which is lovely, that broad perspective. Thank you for that, Totes. How many of us still slip into that language of like, oh, I'm having a bad day. Oh, I never get things right. Oh, we just never get on. Those kinds of languages, for us, that's a fundamental, again, to this focusing on the full picture, is that I notice where I'm using those absolute languages. Just because I woke up in the morning and I didn't have a great couple of hours does not mean that's a bad day. I refocus on the bigger picture, and I'm like, I'm creating this day as amazing. By the end of the day, I'm going to look back at this day and go, wow, I had some wobbly bits in the beginning and I rocked it. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, this refocus holds a lot of potential to change things at any moment, really. When something doesn't feel aligned, something feels off, something needs to be questioned, the refocus helps to take a step back and actually look at the bigger picture and look at both sides of the coin, because again, our mind tends to just show us one side and really drive us that one-sided road down, forgetting about the actual other perspectives.
And I think it also came through with that visualization and the kaleidoscope. You know, sometimes Totes and I can have some fantastic wobbles. We can do some great, you know, the little eyes in us want to play, and the big eyes in us are kind of watching, going, really, these children are being such children. But when I'm in that little eye and Totes is in that little eye, I am in my eye. It's all about me and I don't feel nice, and you're not being nice to me. And then the moment that I actually refocus and potentially even jump into his shoes and feel from his perspective, it shifts everything and it brings me back into my higher eye. So what I've started to do, I don't always get this right, but what I started to do is be curious. Like if I feel like something has happened and we're not actually being in the same vibe, I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what are you trying to achieve? What's going on? And by being curious, I'm able to get into his shoes, get into his experience of it. And then that changes everything. Again, refocusing for that full picture sometimes looks like feeling with that other person what it is they're feeling.
Yeah. So if there's anyone in your feelings that, you know, you feel like that person hurt me, or you feel resentment towards that person, a change of focus, a change of perspective would be to tune into that person. Actually try, sit with it and imagine, how does that person feel about you, and what have you done that made that person feel that way? And what happens then naturally is like you see the full picture. You don't see just your world and how the situation played out for you, but also how did it play out from the other person's perspective. Something in my personal journey that happened was when I tuned in, because my father left us when I was, I think, 1 or 2 years old. I have hardly memories of him. And like this practice actually really helped me. I just tuned into like, how does he actually feel having done that? And sitting with that. And it actually, that brought me sadness. I actually looked at from his world, from his perspective. He didn't know what he was doing. I mean, who knows what was going on in his life and what past traumas and whatever led him to that point to make such a decision to leave your child. And he's still living with that, and he's still holding that, possibly. Even really if not, but it takes me into his world and the compassion of like, yeah, how it must have played out for him and how his life has impacted. He impacted his own life through that.
I really love that, because it's like, otherwise I'm focused on just this impact and this trauma or whatever I've experienced. And when I can bring myself out, I start to notice again that perspective of it's hurt people that hurt people. And so then the compassion comes in, you know. It's nice.
So lots of love to all of you out there on the live stream and the replay video.
Enjoy the refocus.
Ciao.
Ciao.